Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern, Ned Reynolds in the studio, halfway point of the week. Rare Wednesday night game for the MSU Bears. They are in Tennessee tonight.
It is not only rare, it may be, and I have been able to confirm this, but it may be the very first time ever that the Bears have played a midweek game scheduled this way, and it is a Wednesday night. This is all because of the move to Conference USA, which has a television contract for the month of October to have its games at midweek, something for the four-letter network and others to put on TV, some kind of an adjunct to what had been on there. Anyway, the Bears do play tonight. They are in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, to play the Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders, and the Bears are a 2.5-point favorite. Now, what's that judged on? It certainly isn't the quarterback situation, because it's very unlikely the Bears will be able to start their quarterback because of apparent knee injury that he has, and he's a good one. The Clark kid can really play, but he may not and probably won't be in there. Nevertheless, the Bears 2.5-point favorite because of a common opponent. That common opponent is Marshall. Marshall went into Murfreesboro and walloped Middle Tennessee State 42-28. The Bears went to Marshall and beat the Marshall Thundering Herd 21-20. So that in and of itself is the reason why the Bears are a very slight 2.5-point favorite tonight, and go Bears. We hope they win.
Yeah, and again, I get why they're doing this for the midweek views and all that stuff, but it's going to be tough when you've got two pretty big post-regular season baseball games happening today.
Well, they're not shooting right now for the majority of the audience. They're obviously not going to get that because these games are streamed, and you limit your audience right there. But it is extra money, and the folks, the TV folks, are willing to pay that extra money, and the colleges are more than happy to accept it.
Yeah, hopefully they get a little bit more in the recruiting funds. Jerry Jones claims the gesture he made to Jets fans was not as big of a deal as everyone's making it out to be. What do you think?
It is to the National Football League because they fined him $250,000.
Woo-wee!
Now, to Jerry Jones, that's pocket change. He doesn't have to worry about that. But $250,000 fine for the gesture. Now, we'll use your imagination as to what the gesture was to the New York Jets fans when the Cowboys and Jets played on Sunday. The Jets fans were apparently giving Mr. Jones a tough time about being in New York and all that. Well, this is Jerry Jones. He's a powerful individual, and he decided, Jerry was born in and raised pretty much in this area. This is where he was from, so he's probably familiar with the KY3. Well, he returned it by a third, gave him the KY1, and that's $250,000 cost. If they find me that, I'd be...
Oh, you'd have been broken in a...
a long time ago.
I can't even imagine. You'd still be working full-time, that's for sure. Coach Prime is going under the knife, is that right?
I think he probably already has. They being the University of Colorado, nor the medics, have had anything to say about that. But yeah, he's going to have, if not already have had, a blood cleansing procedure. What he has is he's been under pain. He's been in pain for quite a few weeks now. And having been through this before, the Primetime said, hey, I know what these are. They're blood clots, and they have to be removed. So he is going through this procedure to rid his venous system of the clots that are causing him a lot of pain. He says, he being Dion, that he will be back on the sideline Saturday when Colorado plays Iowa State, and that's a big, big ball game for the Buffs. They're only 2-4 this year, and they haven't played very well. And although Dion doesn't admit it, certainly his health has been a factor in the fact that he's probably not the robust Prime that everybody figures. Anyway, he will have this surgery, and we wish him the very best.
Just to show you that we're all human beings, my man. The baseball playoffs were last night, and we got two great games today. But before that, let's talk about what happened and the situation between the Seattle Mariners and the Detroit Tigers.
And the Mariners have taken a 2-1 lead, and they did it with the long ball, playing at Comerica Park in Detroit. Now, the game was delayed because of rain, but that really didn't figure into how it was played. Mariners win it by a score of 8-4. Seattle 8, Detroit 4, and Seattle now has a 2-1 lead. And who was on the mound for the Detroit Tigers? Former St. Louis Cardinal, former Springfield Cardinal, Jack Flaherty. didn't fare very well. He gave up 4 runs and 4 hits. He did strike out 6 in 3 1/3 innings, but hey, that doesn't get it when your team isn't backing you up. And indeed, the 3 home runs that Seattle were able to hit made the big difference. Suarez, J.P. Crawford, and of course Cal Raleigh all had home runs. Raleigh's he put the game out of reach with a 2-run homer in the 9th inning. 8-4, Mariners get the win. Now the Yankees-Blue Jays, the Yankees are back in it. It's still 2-1 in favor of Toronto, and Toronto had a 6-1 lead over the New York Yankees last night. 6-1. Fans are kind of shuffling around at Yankee Stadium, but all of a sudden, here comes the judge, Aaron Judge, and he ties the game with a 3-run homer that caromed off the foul pole in right field. It was a big, big blast, and Judge is capable of doing that. He only had 54 home runs this year. But then Jazz Chisholm, who had been benched earlier in the playoffs, comes back and hits one in the upper deck at Yankee Stadium, and the Yankees are on their way. New York wins it 9-6 over Toronto, so the Yankees now trail in that series by 2-1. Toronto is still just 1 game away from getting the win. Now, coming up tonight, all 4 of the playoff games will be going on, 2 in the National, 2 in the American. It'll be a very busy night.
So it's so funny to watch these games happen and then watch the fan bases go insane during the game online. And as far as Chisholm's concerned, they were all over him because he missed Vladdy going to home, right? And hesitated because he just, I don't know what, for whatever reason. Right after that play, maybe the next inning, or maybe even that same inning, the camera's right on him, and he takes just this big yawn, and oh my goodness gracious, those Yankee fans ripped him. That's going to be the cover of the next New York Times tomorrow. Yawning Chisholm, all this stuff. It was hilarious. The guy goes back out and hits a home run and helps them rally to go back and win. It just, you can't write that stuff. So awesome. I obviously am not happy that my team's 2-3 right now, but I'm in a lot better position than the Cincinnati Bengals, who just traded for Joe Flacco.
They did indeed. 42-year-old Joe Flacco, and he is now going to suit up for the Bengals. It is a trade for draft choices. Flacco goes to Cincinnati for a 5th-round draft choice. And what does that tell you? Well, certainly it tells you the Bengals need help because Joe Burrow apparently isn't going to be coming back right away. But it also tells you that Flacco did not fit into the plans of the Cleveland Browns. He was benched last week, and 2 weeks ago, and Dylan Gabriel is now doing the quarterbacking. But you know what else it means? Who is second string on the Browns? Shadur Sanders. So the Browns decided to cast their lot with him as opposed to the veteran Joe Flacco, which would tell you that Sanders somewhere along the line is making progress as a rookie out of Colorado and Deion Sanders' son. So we'll see what happens. It is a trade, Cincinnati and Cleveland. Cleveland gets a 5th-round draft choice, and Cincinnati gets Joe Flacco to perhaps rescue them from the doldrums that they're in right now.
I'm surprised they didn't go for Dalton, to be honest with you. I mean,
They could have.
Same difference. So we've got a little bit of baseball happening tomorrow in Springfield, don't we?
We do, and this is the annual ALS benefit called Battle for Bell, and it's a big deal. 2 games, the first of which is at noontime at Hammons Field, and that's Evangel versus Mission. They're part of it. They'll play a 9-inning game at Hammons Field. The second game, the 6:30 game, is the one that began this tradition, and that's Missouri State versus Drury. And they'll play at 6:30. That is tomorrow night, Thursday night. The Battle for Bell is a benefit for the ALS Foundation at Cox Health Systems. It's the only one of ALS foundations within hundreds of miles. They have the implements that the patients who are suffering from ALS actually need, and they have the help that can be forthcoming. And this baseball competition does benefit the I'm going to call it the Amyotrophic Lateral Sclerosis Clinic. It's Lou Gehrig's disease is what it's called, and it's a horrendous disease. Hopefully sometime in our lifetime it'll be wiped out, but so far that has not happened. Baseball game tomorrow night, 6:30, Missouri State versus Drury, preceded by the noontime game between Mission and Evangel, and that's all at Hammons Field.
And the weather is looking absolutely gorgeous for some baseball. Ned, you have a great Wednesday. I'll see you tomorrow.